invocation. Lord, please bless this meeting tonight in this community, and please bless the work we do tonight that will be a benefit to everybody. Amen. Thank you very much. I think I see some new faces out there, so let me introduce the board. I'm Richard Bowler, president of the PACO board for this year, for 2015. Let's see, who do we have around here? Jerry Franklin. You can stand up so people can see you.
Thank you very much.
Vice President. Okay, where's Virginia?
Right here.
Virginia Sullivan is our treasurer. Betsy Terry is our secretary, but she's had some medical emergency today with her mother. And she expects to be here, but she'll be a little bit late. Who we got? Mary Jo is a board member, and she's a correspondence secretary. She does the correspondence and the big billboard down at the post office. If you haven't heard about it, when you go in the door, go to your left, it's the glass in bulletin board down there. Star Bennett, director. She also puts out a monthly newsletter. There's copies of it, samples of it around here for you to look at. It's got some really good information in it. You can also subscribe to it, have it mailed to you if you care to, for a modest fee, of course. Bob Deedy is over there standing up. And where's George Anderson? Makes all this stuff work, keeps it working and records it and does all that good stuff so it can go up on Facebook. And again, I'm like, who did I forget? Tom Martin, where are you, Tom? There's Tom Martin. Okay, and who did I forget now? Come on, help me out. Got them all? That's everybody. Okay. If you do, hopefully there's some folks new here. Is there anybody that would care to say you've not been in a meeting here before or haven't? Good, good. 3, great. 4, well, you don't count, you're a speaker. Okay, we're always soliciting ideas, suggestions, inputs, how to do things better, a speaker that you'd like to see come and present, that sort of thing. So you've met the board members. If you get an idea today, tonight, grab one during afterwards or whenever. If you forget the names like I do all the time, and go down to the post office, our names are listed in that last in bulletin board down there. Give us a call, there's phone numbers on there. Say, I got this great idea. And how about thinking about that? We take all our inputs, we keep track of them, and we want to improve things. We want new people to come in. I'm really happy that you're here. That just brightens our whole day. I'd like to see more and more from you. Okay, thank you. Okay, would you look over the minutes, see if there's anything that's missing, if there's additions that we need to put in, if there's corrections, anything that you see in there, and we'll go to approval if you don't see any big errors. Okay. Okay, do we have a motion to approve? Come on, somebody. James. Second?
Second.
You say Terry? Terry. Terry seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No opposed. Okay, mission. Have a look at the treasurer's report. Our secretary has arrived. Virginia, you got anything to say about that?
No, it's right on your agenda. I can read it out to you if you'd like me to, or it's right on your agenda. Our beginning balance.
Virginia.
Deposited, our interest.
Virginia,
disbursements.
wait.
Okay. I'm too short. Okay, the beginning balance was $1928.58. We had a deposit of $53 from our collection last month. The interest was 4 cents. We had disbursements of $98 with the ending balance of $1883.62. The checks that were written was for the post office yearly rental and then to reimburse Star for our Christmas and holiday luncheon. Any questions?
Motion to approve? I make a motion, Jerry. Okay. Jerry, you got first. Tom, one second.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passed. Okay, donation jar. If you look at the overall budget, from the surface, we will clear hopefully around $2,000. That's every 2 years, so we end up with about $1,000 of operating expenses per year out of the surface. Donation jar, we typically get about $50, something like that, per meeting. That's $600 a year, so that's 1/3 of our budget just from that little jar that goes in there. So it's not a trivial matter to us. It helps us out considerably. So think about it. And, that money goes for office supplies, it goes for coffee and cookies and the insurance. We're going to spend about $375 just in insurance this year. That's a big chunk of it. Cups, plates, all that stuff that goes along with it. So that kind of eats it up, and that's, the nature of doing business. And the mugs, we buy mugs. Go out to our presenters and they're kind of from supporters and whatnot. We buy those things. We get a really good deal on those things. Okay. Here's a suggestion for you. Just throw this in. Set schedule. Private secretary. We buy cookies and whatnot for little refreshments and that sort of thing. If you got a prize recipe for cookies, desserts, cakes, things like that, I challenge you, if you care to, put together a batch and bring it in and have it out here for maybe a little break or halfway through the meeting. We can stop and go over and sample your stuff and, take a little, refill your coffee cup, that sort of thing. George Anderson, where are you, George? There he is back there. He brought in some cinnamon rolls, completely made, yeast risen, all that stuff, cinnamon rolls that were outstanding. Marilyn McKinney, her mint chocolate cookie thing. Okay, those things, I never got one, and it was remarkable and memorable. Jane brought in something, and I can't remember. I know it was good, but okay. They have the notoriety of doing this stuff. Join the list, bring something in, give us a chance to sample it, and then we can talk about you for the next couple of months, just like we're doing now. Okay, unfinished business. Thank yous. For last meeting's presenters, we had Gary Beverly talk about water issues, things in the Valley of Chino. And Penny Hubble talked about insurance, how to buy insurance smart, so we thank those folks. And Craig was here and gave a little status on things going on in the county, so we appreciate all those presenters. And, now, throw this in too. Boy, congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back, and everybody that wrote letters to ADOT and whoever else, and helped push along getting the signs changed out here on the street. speed limits. Those were changed Wednesday, I believe. So we owe thanks to DDOT, to Alvin Stone, and to, I think, Craig for helping things along and getting the bureaucracy to move a little bit faster than DDOT would normally do. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Good way to put it.
Good way to put it. But it was everybody working together within whatever, letters are important, and you've got some horsepower to add to it, that's valuable. So we've got the speed limit down to 55 out here now, and I'm told that people are observing it. So that's good news. Coming through, it's not 70 miles an hour and trucks running me over and school buses and all that stuff. Okay, blanket collection. I'll start this off, and then Jerry, if you care to throw anything on. 2 meetings ago, we suspended the donation jar so that we could take up a collection solely for, outside of Paco, solely for taking advantage of buying some blankets that could be distributed around to folks that could use some extra, some extra blankets and on. And it was kind of mirroring what was going on in Prescott Valley, they had a big collection in there. We were able to do it on a rush because we got a fellow in the community here that said, I'll match your dollars, whatever you collect in this group, I'll match it. Up to 50, I think, 50 or 100, something like that. 100. And he did. And we collected 106 or something that night. He threw in 100. And then it happened that weekend was a half-off sale at Goodwill and some of the other ones. So essentially, your donated dollar turned into $4 purchasing power to go around, and we bought, how many blankets, Jerry?
31
31 blankets.
blankets and company.
Okay. That was a one-time thing. We don't normally do that, but it was done outside. We just took advantage of the meeting here to do a secondary side donation, and it worked out rather well. Any other comments, Jerry?
No, it was just, I talked with Terry McPherson, and they distributed blankets to young people, to teenagers, to adults, and to seniors. And so there were 31 people in the community that benefited from that, sleeping a little bit warmer at night. So it was a good feeling and a good Paco project.
I helped him, and I have to tell you, it was
Mic, please.
actually fun knowing that these blankets were going to people who needed them, and they could have them right away. And we really enjoyed running out of the store with carriages full of blankets and people asking us what we were doing it for. And it actually turned out to be something whose word probably spread to other churches as well and other organizations. So it had benefits in every direction you can think of.
Thank you. Okay, Paco email newsletter. This has been in the works for a while. We're working on putting it together. It's more of a, at least I view it as a quick response kind of thing, as opposed to Star's monthly newsletter that she puts out. It's general, what would you say, valley news kind of thing. It's kind of planned ahead. Ours, I think, we're looking for how do we, do a quick call for volunteers. We've got an email list. It's short-term kind of stuff, but, maybe some agenda schedules and that sort of thing. So, Jerry, what do you got in addition? Where are we?
You described it very well. That's fine, yeah.
Okay, well, Circus is next. That's April 25th. And we're going to need volunteers to do all kinds of things. So no matter what your capabilities are, whether you can sit at a table and sell tickets, or you can go out with some of us and pick up rocks in these fields out here and mow, and if you've got a tractor, you've got several tractors and lawnmowers and things, and get those fields prepped for getting the circus in, which will be right here. And then the parking will be down there like it was 2 years ago. Now, tell your friends if they have mobility problems. We're going to have a drop-off here, going up the road here towards the corner. You can drop off, and then the driver, if they're mobile, can go down and park down here. But if you're handicapped and the driver's handicapped too, we'll have parking up here on the other side of the cell phone tower. So, and we're going to do our best to clean a path across so that you can get across without crossing. The road will be blocked off, so all that area will be closed. So it's just going to be pedestrians and the drop-offs and whatnot. So we're making plans for you. Tell your friends if they're a little feeble on their feet and still come on up, we can take care of it. Anything else, Terry?
Covered it well.
We're going to be busy. We've got to cut the weeds, but we got to cut them before they can't grow up again. So, but we got to get out there and pick up the rocks with the mowers, don't run over rocks and do stuff. And we've got a lot of signs to put up and traffic signs and all kinds of good stuff. So, whatever your abilities or physical abilities are, we've got jobs that you can do if you want to volunteer a couple hours here and there, because we want a man to take the booths pretty heavily for the week before, right before the circus. CWAG, there's a attachment in your packet on the write-up of what happened on the 14th, and that had to do with the Chino Valley, with the Big Chino Wash and the pipeline and some other things in there. Star, do you have anything to add to that? She was able to attend that 14th. Yeah.
Mike, please.
So far.
Actually, it was a great meeting. It was the first time we ever got to check out the model. I've been waiting for 3 years to see the model, and although we didn't really see it, he did have a scenario selection for 2060, 2050. It's a kind of chronology of how bad the situation will get. On the bright side, all we need is rain, plenty of it. Okay, so if there's any way that we can see abnormal amounts of rain, we will have no depreciation and everybody will be happy and there won't be any arguments. So hopefully everything will last for the next half century. They're saying that's pretty solid. But other than that, if things go worse and worse on drought, the mega drought he brought up, the Minister Kirknick. Actually, he's a PhD, and he's got about 7 different classifications behind that PhD. So I took his word for everything, and he was very interesting and he was funny. So that's really great for a scientist because it's kind of dry stuff, but unfortunately for us, dry stuff.
Okay, standing committee, I think that's it for old business. A reminder that if your coffee cup is empty, we've got a nice full 50 cupper over there. Decaf, okay. Yeah, if you want to get a refill or sample some stuff, you're welcome to do it. Right now, we're not having a break in the middle of this stuff, but we can do that. Okay, suggestion box. There's a suggestion box over there that we started a couple months ago, and it's another way to solicit your inputs on how we can do things better.
I think you got FM reception. How do you turn this off, George? I'm getting somebody else. That's me out.
Sounds like a bigger meeting.
Surprise.
Okay.
Suggestion box. Okay, back to that. There's little cards on there. If you think of something and during the meeting you want to jot it down, throw it in there. We will then, we intend to add your suggestions to the next minutes or to the minutes of this meeting. We'll keep track of those things. It didn't happen on this set of minutes, but we're getting better at it. Some of the things that were put in recently is they would, a suggestion was to post the minutes down at the post office on the bulletin board. We've already been posting the agenda, that was also suggested. So we'll work on that, getting the minutes out. Gives us an incentive to get down there. Gives you a chance to see what happened at the last meeting if you were able to make it, and see what's coming up at the next meeting, and if you want to make it, if it's something of interest to you. There was a suggestion that the food bank needs a fence down there and a playground for kids. Well, that's kind of out of our area of what we do, I guess. So I guess the suggestions have been made to them, I guess we'll leave it at that. Another suggestion was to be aware of some of the filing requirements of the 5013C Corporations Commission, things that we have to do every year and sometimes in the middle of the year. So it was a reminder of some of those things we have to be aware of or not, and to be cognizant of them. So your suggestions count, they're important to us. We'll put them in the next minutes if you put something over there, or if you talk to one of the board members and say, hey, I've got this idea, put that in there, that can keep the list going, and if we can, it's something we can do and we should do it, then we'll take it on. Let's see, I think that's it. Is there any other new business before we get to the presentations? I think, Mr. Stewart, you're on.
Gary Roberts.
And Mr. Jerry Roberts, and is, where are you, baby? There you go. The three board members of the Holland Volunteer Fire Department who run this building, Holland Community Center. Hopefully I've got it all right. Are here. And they have a presentation.
I'll stay in the center. I got my fingers on the phone. Okay. Can we see that? Can we turn the lights on? Okay, everybody hear me okay? Okay. My name is Jerry Roberts. I am with the Holland Volunteer Fire Department. I'm the vice president. As you may have heard, Jeff Stewart over here is the president. Dee Webb right in the back, she is the secretary treasurer. And we basically take care of the building. We started, actually the Holland Volunteer Fire Department started in 1994 officially. When we got together, people in the community wanted fire service. So we actually met up at Gunnison and one of their training facilities. I don't know if anybody's ever been up to Gunnison in their training facilities. But very small, very hard to get to, big, really bad place to be. So that was one of the reasons we wanted to, when we built the fire station, we wanted a place to be. In 1997, this property was donated by Dewey Levi with a restriction, and the restriction said the use of this property is restricted to a fire station and related uses, a community center, or other related uses which benefit directly the residents of Paulden, Arizona. Okay, we live by that. We want this building to be used for this community. That is our goal, that is what we've been striving for years. So, he donated the land. We ended up getting a grant from NACOG for $40,000 to build this building. And that grant paid for the materials. It didn't pay for any labor, it just materials. All the community came out, all the volunteers came out and built the building. Rain, snow, it was cold. I can remember that well. So we did all the building. When we got a special use permit by Yapa County, it was designated as a B occupancy, B being business occupancy. So we could house fire stations, but we also could take the fire trucks out and have community meetings in here. It was allowed back then. So, well, let's see for a minute. So that was done in 1998. It's been redone. Probably we've gotten extensions on it 3 times. The last time was October of 2014 is the expired. Okay, so we had to reapply. They would not let us reapply for a fire station under the B occupancy. We had to apply for A occupancy, which is the assembly occupancy. And the big difference that I know of between the two is because it's an assembly occupancy, it's rated differently that people have to get out. So the doors have to be different. Drywall has to be different from fire code. And it's all around fire code is what it is. And it's a way of designating what type of building it is for fire code. So the fire code changes when you put a lot of people in the building and how we respond. We got, when it was a B occupancy, we were actually okay to use it because we had the large doors. Pull the door, people can get out. And that's why they let us do it that way. Now we can't because we're not a fire department anymore, so we're going to A occupancy. That brings us up to what we're doing today. Well, actually, let me back up. In 2006 is actually when the fire department stopped responding to calls in the Paulding community. Only for the fact that one of the things that we did is one of our engines lost an engine. So we blew up a motor. Pretty much put us out of business. The other thing was Chino Fire was responding to most of the calls out here, so it left us nothing for response. So we moved and dropped the fire station and used it as a community center. 2000, and while we were doing that, Chino Fire actually, for better protection, better coverage, would actually store vehicles in this building to be in the area so that they could respond to calls out here. And they did that up until about 2011. Okay, and then they built a great big old building that they have down on 83 North in Indiana. Let's see. So, in about 2006, primarily this building's been used for community meetings, 4-H, Bountiful Basket uses it, churches use it, AA uses it. There's been numerous uses for this building. We've had birthday parties in here, at summer school programs been in here. So it's been used by the community really well. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go and reapply for an A occupancy through the county. Our permit came up in October, like I said, so we had until March 1st to get something into the county. We have to get a permit, but one of the requirements for the permit was to have a meeting with the community of Paulding and let them know what's going on and get their input as far as what they'd like to see, if there's any changes they'd like to see, to get that into the flow. Okay, so that's why we're here today, is we're doing this for our permit. A couple of the things that we have to do we're required to put up concrete or asphalt around the building for parking spaces. And we have to do for 12 parking spaces. That's outside. The other thing we have to do is, for fire, have the doors, at least 2 of the doors open out. So we have to change the doors to where they open out. One actually does, the other one doesn't. The reason we didn't do that initially is a lot of the doors, your hinges are on, and people break into the building by taking the doors off the hinges. So we had to turn them in. We've had enough people kick in the doors as it is for years. So now we put metal doors on, make them go out. The other thing we have to do, and I was talking about fire code, is the walls between these offices and the bathrooms will have to be another layer of drywall on it. So we have to do that. Our bathroom, one of the bathrooms, or both bathrooms have to change. One of them has to get another stall, I believe, for a women's bathroom. So we have to do that. And I'm trying to think, that's the biggest portion of the changes that we have to do. And that's all over here. One thing you're figuring too is possibly take out the middle door. We don't need the middle doors anymore. Take them out, put in a big open door, and get rid of the middle door. We talked about air conditioning. We don't have any air conditioning in the building. We'd like to do that. We're going to have to see how much money we have left when we get done.
Wasn't there something about making it
88 compliant, right. And that's with the bathrooms and we have the parking spots, 2 of them have to be handicapped, so that has to be done too. Yes. Let's see. And as I said, the building will be classified as a community center. We had our meeting on February 24th with the local residents. There's a few that came, I think most of the pack with it, a few came. So, and then today's meeting, and then we'll have met that requirement for the county. Interior recommendations. So, the biggest thing we've been doing for 16 years is that this building be used for the community. That is our goal. That is our ultimate goal. That this building be used for the county. Now, a year ago, the county approached us about possibly using this building as a library. We looked at it, went through it. We wanted it to be, if it was to be used as a library, to be used as a library, but also be used for the community to have meetings in it. Unfortunately, with the amount of people that come in and out of this building to be used by the community, it wasn't going to work for a library. Just nothing there. And the county being in a financial bind, I think that was put off. So, but that's what we're waiting to see is, was that going to work with the county as far as making this into a library community center. So at this time it didn't work. So that's where we are. Okay, we're started. One of the things I did not notice there is no fee to use this building. We pay for this building by a cell tower. The cell tower pays us, $1,300 a month, approximately, and it changes every 5 years. It pays us $1,300 a month. That pays the bills, plus a little bit goes back into a savings account. We've been building that savings account to do some of the changes that we're going to ended up having to do.
Because the cell tower people pay money to who?
To the Paul Volunteer Fire.
To the fire department?
Yeah, community center.
The
The
volunteer
organization, yeah, the organization. None of it, the money comes in to use the building, but none of it goes to any of the people that run it. Okay? And that what that means is it pays the bills, but no one, myself, Jeff, or me get paid for what we do. We volunteer all our time to this. The building was built by volunteers, and we volunteer all our time.
Is there an accounting or budget breakup of how the money is spent for this building?
And accounting, yes, he does all the accounting and has a breakdown. I don't have it with me, but I think we did have it. We can get it for you if you want. Yeah.
Can that money go to some of the needs that need to be done to get this?
Yes, yes.
all day for those?
All of it. Yeah, that, yeah, all of it will get that. So other than that, there's no other changes to the building. It's going to stay basically the same as what it is, other than the changes to the doors and the ADA and what the counterparts is.
Is there a time frame that they can really specify that you have to have these changes done?
I am not sure, I was asked Craig Brown that. I know that we have applied for the permit. Our meeting for the permit comes in front of the planning and zoning on May the 6th. As soon as it gets through them, then they go ahead and approve what we said we wanted to do. At that time, then they give us a timeline, and I'm not sure, Craig, can you tell me, do you know what time?
Probably the first meeting in June, whatever that day is.
But after that, how long do you give us to make the changes that are necessary? Time
2 or 3 days.
So, it's a pretty quick process.
You know, whatever it takes. Okay.
So, whatever it takes. Okay. We're gonna be here late tonight.
The county worked with volunteer firm guys to make sure we get this accomplished and done right. So
Yeah.
that's the important part, make sure everybody's.
Right, exactly. That's, as long as we can get it done. Trying to think where I was at. Let's see. Okay, so we need your help. In the way that we need your support for what we're doing, to give to the county, to let them know that you are in favor of having this day community center and still be here today. Letters to the county board of supervisors, letters to Steve Mock, letters to Craig Brown, just whatever support we can get. Yeah.
You do have janitorial service too, right?
Janitorial service meaning,
In the restrooms and so on?
yes, actually a lot of times we'll have someone come in and clean them, but I'm not sure what that entails. A lot of times the groups that you use it will keep it clean for us. But
We have a dog that comes in Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Wednesdays and Saturdays, cleans up, puts the trash in the dumpster.
You can then support me one letter with attachments of signatures from all the residents.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In a way that can be sent
Covers
out
every-
place and the signatures, bring them all together in one place. And then you
The real reason is that board and either board, P&Z or board of supervisors wants to have these types of letters because they're looking for the surrounding area, make sure nobody's, against it and has a good reason. And P&Z will first listen to it. You've got 10 people on that board. So, and a lot of them are not from here, so they're not familiar with what's being talked about. So any letter you send in, it really needs to go to Steve Mott, because all of them are read by Steve, and he distributes them to everybody else. So to save you a lot of stamps, I would send them to Steve, but that's up to you guys, you do what you want. You can send them to me if you feel like it, emails are fine, whatever, so. But they all put them all in the file, and they're all in the file, and it goes to P&Z. Same thing after P&Z, we receive the file from P&Z, see what they said, compare it against what, said by Belmont Services, and we make our decision public, like everybody else. But to be honest with you, if you send one to everybody, it's a lot of wasted stamps.
It's easier to send it to Steve, he'll get it around. Okay. Sounds good. And that's about all I have as far as what we're doing. Is there any questions? Okay. Yes.
I think that there's quite a few people that I have spoken to and overheard that would like to see the type of responsibility and accountability. No one has any idea of when the tower comes in, why the tower fee has not been increased while everybody else in town did. And, there are things that are important to the community that they need to know about this too.
why this would continue. And, you know, that is, I think, probably on the minds of a lot more people than this week. The other thing, too, that I've heard is a great many people have said that we should really look at this, possibly change of semantics to instead of a community center with library, look at community recreational center, which broadens it to include a certain amount of playground equipment and places for children that we need to help understand how unique and special this little town is. People in the other towns around here don't get the ability to participate. And people around here need to be aware that they have a bigger voice than they think. We give them this opportunity once a month, but if you can speak to your neighbors, this is the one town where you can actually say what you're thinking and come up with ideas and then participate in the way that it is worked through and have that incredible delight when the project is finished.
Can you put out the address and to where to send it to the board of supervisors, a little letter?
Sure, actually, we can do that, yes.
I'll give her a card now.
Okay, thanks. Yes,
I would suggest a draft letter that people can use and write their own, but the draft letter should have the core elements of what kind of support you need, what this is going to do. Otherwise, you're going to be over the board. Right. If everybody's getting the focus on the same message, and their own personal ideas to it.
sure.
Jerry, did you have something that you gave out at the other meeting?
Yeah, we did have paper at the other meeting, and we did probably bring it tonight as far as responses. But what you had actually is a good idea. We could do it next possible meeting, actually bring it in, is a letter all written up and then have someone's signature down through and everyone sign it. If they like the procedure, which is basically what we're doing.
We have to feel that this is here, we can send all this stuff to us, why they use it, we can take it from there.
Okay. Yeah, and if you need something, put it on. Yeah.
Is your use permit going to be for a longer period of time than just 2 years, so you're going to have to keep revisiting?
I hope so. When this first permit was done, it was 10 years. You know, and I would like to see it another 10 years, or possibly just straight across, so we don't have to keep doing this every time. It'd be done. You know, and that calls for having it rezoned to commercial. We'll have to look at that and see. When we talked to Steve, we asked him what the options are, and he goes, well, it's not, well, we'll just have to look at it. And that's what I got from Steve. So we'll do this. I don't know if the permit application is different for commercial versus that, but we'll have to talk to Steve on that. Yes?
How long has the tower been on?
Tower came in, when did the tower came in?
2003.
2003.
And it's on a 20-year lease agreement.
20 years ago. Yeah, so, what was I going to say? Oh, one thing I was going to say too, on the tower, was that they've added on several times, but we didn't get any more money, because we had originally signed a contract, but we didn't know when we signed it, that once they add on, we didn't get any more money. And usually a lot of contracts now, you sign off, anybody else that comes on, you get additional funds.
It's changed hands multiple times also. Those cell towers get moved around like a deck of cards, the owners that own. We get a notice that we get a check from somebody, who's this? Oh, it's the new owners. So but we do get their check, and you know, that's what keeps the doors open here, and that's what allows us to be in a position to pour multiple yards of concrete and to drywall these all things without costing this community a single thing. So, you know, the fundraisers on that might be great later on to get your park going, get those things. But we don't want to be a burden on this community. That's why when the cell tower people were going around, I dogged them like crazy. I was on the phone with them. I said, you need to put this here. You know, because once it went in, then the building's established and the funds to run the building are established, and we don't have to charge people rent to use the building. We don't have to, you know, the only thing is insurance, and everyone has to carry their own insurance. We carry ours, everyone that meets here carries their own.
Right. And that was one thing that they really liked about putting the tower on this piece of property, is all the funds go back into the community. They don't go to someone else's pocket, they go into the community. And yeah, you don't see a lot of it, but mostly it's here. You get to use this, it's free, it's just, have your insurance.
You're going to see a whole bunch of it going in now, as I said, I mean, all for the parking spaces and for the ADA departments, and to keep this building or to reclassify it as an assembly. All that's going to be dumped right back in. And with all your guys' help too. George.
I just want to mention the fact that they've left equipment there for almost a month.
Yeah, they like to do that. I call them regularly and give them a nice message. But, you know, and most of them don't have anything to do with it. They rent out another 10 feet on it, and someone comes out with their lift, and the lift will sit out there for 3 months. Hopefully they're renting it from Chino Rentals.
Yeah.
And the benefits of that piece of equipment.
They do.
Well, see, the last time for the circus, we had to call and have them move it
Yeah.
because it was in the way.
Try to keep it on. Okay, question back there.
Now, if there ever was a time that you would run out of funds, do you guys take donations? Are you a nonprofit?
We are a nonprofit. We are a 501c3. Yeah. So we do that. Because of the tower, we haven't done that because of the paper, but we do.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. We want that to go to PACO. We want that to go to the circus, to the community cleanup, those things. We want this to be self-sufficient and handle itself. You know, we'll get the doors gone and build the walls and all that. We don't want, you know, for this to become something that people have to start dumping money into. That's not the point of it.
Well, and plus, in recent years, we've spent about $10,000 painting the building and putting a new roof on.
Right. So
And then we do things like when the Trash Day event that PACO sponsored, we provide the food, you know, so we would donate that. And then we also give to the Yavapai Food Bank too at the end of the year. We give them Thanksgiving gift cards, and then we adopt 5 families and buy presents and wrap them up and take them to the food bank so they can distribute. So we tried to work out a deal with Halton Food Bank, but she had directed me to Yavapai Food Bank because a lot of the Halton people were there. So.
I think that fundraising is great for that brings the community together. But since you're a nonprofit,
yes, 501c3.
Have you considered all going after government funding for this facility? It's not all over the place.
We haven't. We did for the NACOG grant when we originally built the building. And actually, I gotta say, we got the $40,000. Several years later, we got another NACOG grant to put up signs in the area, street signs. And we've done that.
We did the Halton Street sign project.
So, yeah, all the roads out here got street signs.
If the direction is to go that way, then how we name the facility and what it's going to be used for is important, because that funding is directed towards what we call the facility and what we do with it.
Right.
So we need to have as much rep as possible to take advantage of government funding opportunities.
Harry, how often is the contract signed, re-signed? Is it a 30-year, 20-year, 5-year, 2 months?
Well, that was one thing I was saying earlier. The first time we did it, it was 10 years. The last time it was done for 3 years. And the reason it was done for 3 years is the board at that time knew that there was a 5-member board coming and said, we don't want to 5-member board by approving something that they didn't have. So they wanted to let it expire as soon as the 5-member board came on, then they can relook at the use permit. That was the use permit we were talking about. That was 5-member board came in
Board of
a
Supervisors.
year ago.
2013.
Okay, 2 years. Okay.
That's the board of time.
Yeah.
The previous board, a lot of things, they shortened up time on use permits because they didn't want to come in with a 5-member board saying, wait a minute, how did I end up with this 7 years? I've got to wait until the permit comes up if we want to change it. So they shortened up a lot. We're back to, I think, pretty much 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Most, unless it's something odd.
That new sign on the Big Chino about 4 miles, is that yours? Somebody put up a sign.
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
I don't know what sign you're talking about.
You said you put up signs.
Oh, street signs.
We did a
Street signs.
Paulton street sign project. We put all
A
the
lot of the
signs.
street signs, they did the project with the Fulton street signs, and a lot of street signs were put up to identify roads, because a lot of the roads are not county roads. They're not county roads, the county can't put up a sign. However, the county has to put up some signs somehow, and I don't know how that happened, but it just all of a sudden miraculously appeared. We have.
Yeah, we went through and identified all the streets and roads in the area, put up signs, noting that a brown sign is not a county maintained road. And we were trying to do that, everything that was out there was brown and white letters, is not a county maintained road. If you had a green and white, you could say that was a county maintained road. But there was some gray area in there, some got green when they weren't supposed to, so.
Actually, Craig, you know how the county puts up signs is that, like when our street sign at the corner, somewhere out there on Emery and Antelope Run got knocked down, somebody called the county and the county came out and put out a brand new sign.
Gee, how about that?
But it's not a county road.
You really?
I can guarantee you it's not a
You
county road.
don't get it, do you?
No.
Yeah.
One more thing I do note on that. There was a fire contract for over in that area somewhere, just before Antelope Run off to the left. Signs were down, the guys would not give them a contract, they didn't have a road, street sign up. I went out, got the street signs made, and put them up. So some of them, and we were supposed to maintain, the 5 years job, but we were supposed to maintain those road signs for 5 years. So.
Okay, and a lot of things that happen sometimes in our more rural areas. Yeah, may not, there are laws in the state of Arizona that say you cannot give away things.
Right.
You cannot donate it to the county, you cannot do that. So we try to find other ways to approach it. You know, the water crossing up there on Fire Street. Yeah, well, one of the main roads up there. Yeah. That's not a county road, it's not a county crossing.
Right.
But for some reason, the county will cross.
Built across, yeah, I think the other mountain.
So it's a really clean line. It's a way to get around things to help me. And that's what we try.
Jerry, along
Yes.
that line, I know you guys still have a lot of signs left.
Yes, yes.
So if somebody needed street signs,
Yes, if there is any street signs, the only thing we have to do is get the letters. I forget where I got the letters, but I can get letters that I have to put on. Yeah, no, the letters are not cheap.
Well, everybody take a look at the street signs and then get back to that Jerry knows what
Yes.
maybe needs repair, or maybe Jeff can help, or maybe not, I don't know.
And the location is very critical, so we have to have county come out and tell us exactly the offsets and where they're placed, because if they're placed incorrectly, then.
If the poles are still there, we can do it, but yeah, if we don't stop where it's missing a road sign, and I'm usually working out here for the last year, I usually try to know where there's a sign missing.
I only say that because last year there were several people that asked us about the street signs,
Yeah.
you know.
And then we have to check out whether it's a green one, or is it a brown one, or is it, because they are, that determines what whether they're accepted, or whether they're, you know, what kind of designation that road is.
I know.
And it's actually not too hard because there's nothing county maintained roads are also private, so.
But I think you guys ran out of brown ones because my whole neighborhood is green.
Well, those were the ones that were done before, and that's where the gray area came in. Okay, I'm just about to.
If you need a couple of signs, I'm sign in my shop. That kind of way over, that's part of it.
Oh, really?
That might have been that subdivision because they did have these.
Yeah.
Still might.
Yeah, I think. Okay, thank you very much.
Pauldvolunteerfire@gmail.com. All your suggestions can come there, you know, pauldvolunteerfire@gmail.com.
Thank you again very much.
Okay, in the past, I don't know, 6 months ago or something, this group was asked to sort of voice their opinion by a vote, for or against, or if there's any objections to it. Is that helpful, Craig, for what they're doing? Nope. Okay, that's short and quick. Why did we do it before?
Nothing on paper didn't happen. And that's the way the rules are.
Okay.
Government's back.
Okay, so
So if you got it, you want to give, send an email to volunteer fire guys, that's good. They'll turn it into Steve Mock, or you want to send it in to Steve, you want to send it to me, you want to send it to knock yourself out. I really don't see where there's going to be an issue, because it's been used for this for a ton of years. It's going to be used for this into the future. You're just making some modifications, that's it. So it's not a big deal.
okay. We were asked for number 4. We'll just take it out. Okay, next speaker. Oh, are you ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Let me clear the deck for you here. The Community Outreach Coordinator. Community Outreach and... Oh, great. It's one of those. You want to hang on with this one?
Yes, please.
Oh, and much covered in the cups that we hand out. We've got 3 of them, one for Dee, one for Jeff, and one for Jerry, and I'll just put them over here with your stuff. Thank you very much. You need some energy, there's lots of sugar. This yours, Jerry?
Roxanne, give your background.
My background?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want all that.
Yeah. I mean, they'd be interested.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to see such a nice sized group. I'm Roxanne Hull, maiden name Baker. I actually grew up in Paulden when there was about 5 families out here. So there's been a lot of growth. It's exciting, and I'm glad to see that they're going to be able to keep the building and continue with what they're doing out here. I have quite a passion for Paulden, even though I don't live here now. I went in the military in '84, got out in '89, settled in California. It took me 20 years to get back, but I did finally make it back. And now live in Chino Valley on Yellow Brick Road. I just love saying that. My father did a lot of the water lines and things out here. His name was Gene Baker. I don't know if any of you knew him, but he's been gone now for almost 9 years. But I love this community, and I really want to play a part in keeping it going and helping you out as much as I can. My job at the hospital is community outreach coordinator, and in doing that, I am responsible for reaching out to everybody and making sure that you have the resources and health information that you need to stay healthy. I may work in the hospital, but I don't want to see you there, okay? We want to keep you out of the hospital. So part of my job is to provide you with
education, resources, things like that, to aid you in doing that. I brought a couple of those with me tonight. First of all is our Health Connect calendar. This has grown tremendously in the time that I've been there. It didn't really hardly exist when I started, actually. But it's just now a full 4-color publication, which we're really excited about. And on the back, some of you are probably getting this already, but on the back is the descriptions of all the events, the phone numbers to call, dates, times, locations, everything. So you would be surprised how many people call and say, well, I'm interested in the class that's on the 14th, but it doesn't say where it is or what time it is or anything. And I'm like, did you turn it over? Or did you look on the facing page? Because in the Courier, it used to be a 2-page spread. So they'd be looking at this page, but they wouldn't look to the next page. So just so you're aware, that information is on the back. And this is now in the Yavapai Health and Wellness magazine, which is going to be distributed in Halden to all the residents as well. But this is on our website. If you're not familiar with that, it's yrmc.org. Down in the front page, there's a little girl at the bottom holding a big flower. That's for our community outreach, our Health Connect information. So all of that information is on there as well. We now have 3 Facebook pages. We are moving on up. It took a while to get those going, but we have a Facebook page for Yavapai Regional Medical Center. We have one for Ponderosa Pediatrics, because we have kind of assimilated them. Their physicians now are paid by Yavapai Regional Medical Center. So we have a Facebook page just for them. And then we have one for our physician care offices, which have grown to, I think we have 11 now. Still trying to get them to come out here, get out this direction. At least get to Chino, and then, actually even look at maybe doing like a mobile clinic to come out to Halden for immunizations or whatever it happens to be. We did have a small health fair this past fall, and had the room filled with vendors and lots of information and stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to do it again this year and get even more people to come out for that. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is our HealthWise handbooks. We actually have 3 different versions. We have one that's for 50 and under, and I say that meaning that there's probably more information for kids in that. That's the one that's got the red front on it. The other one has a purple face, and that is for 50 and better. And I say that sincerely, for 50 and better. But what those provide for you is an abundance of information, okay? They're designed to give you what you need for your common, in fact, there's 200 common health issues in that book. And what that does, you can look up snake bite or spider bite, or you can look up asthma, anything like that. And it's going to give you a very basic description of signs and symptoms, and then it's going to give you possible ways to treat that. If it's a situation where they don't think that you should be trying to treat it yourself, they'll tell you that. They'll say, you need to see your doctor.
Would it give you information on allergies?
Yes.
So we're coming on that too.
Yes, absolutely. There's information on allergies. And then it will tell you if there's a home remedy for that, which a lot of people, they're interested in being as natural as they can. So it does give you that type of information as well. It's broken up into different chapters. There's chapter 1, which is take control and live better. And that tells you how to work closely with your doctor. Talks about smart money tips for medicines, saving the emergency room for emergencies. Talks about what a walk-in clinic is. Smart money tips for medical tests, smart decisions, know your options, no surgery decisions, things like that. And then there's the HealthWise self-care checklist. And that is for you to take to your doctor, okay, and explain your problems and the actions you've taken. We really have to start being more proactive about our own health. We can't depend on the healthcare system to do everything for us. It's just not going to work out that way. First aid, chapter 2 is on first aid in emergencies. So this is from animal bites to sunburns, learning how to manage a health issue in emergency, and how to apply first aid, common basic first aid. Here's a scenario. It's the coldest day of the winter, but you really want to get the driveway shoveled. You've been out for a good hour and you can't stop shivering. You notice that your hands are cold and pale, and even though you're moving, your muscles feel like they're getting stiff. Probably been like that a little bit lately. And you think about stopping to put a hat on, but you're almost finished with the driveway. Okay, think about this. You want to make a tentative diagnosis and find the appropriate topic in the First Aid and Emergencies chapter, which ends up being page 41 and is talking about hypothermia. Okay? Read the home treatment section and learn about what you can do at home to manage this condition. And like I said before, home treatment is found in most topics down towards the bottom of the page. Let's see. Then it talks about chapter 3, common health problems. That's the orange tab that you'll see on there. From abdominal pain to urinary issues, this chapter is designed to help people identify their symptoms and learn when to call their doctor and what they can do at home to care for themselves. The symptom guides help you find the topic you need by matching your symptom with a possible cause and the associated page number. Chapter 4 talks about living better with chronic disease. Have any of you taken the Living with Chronic Conditions workshops that Yavapai County and the hospital work on putting together? I really want to try to get a group going out here. My husband actually went to it. They're really, really good courses, and they focus on any type of chronic disease, not just one specific one. Chronic disease qualifies as an ongoing health condition, so asthma, diabetes, chronic pain, COPD, thank you. Anything like that that's an ongoing condition. There's not really a cure for it, it's just something that you're going to have to learn to live with. These classes will focus on how to live with those, how to manage them, from exercise to deep breathing. Deep breathing can do a lot for you. Medications, nutrition, all those types of things. So the courses themselves are over a 6-week period. We would meet the same time, once a week for 6 weeks. They're 2.5 hours each time. They're not limited to anybody. Anybody can attend. I've had people come with chronic conditions. I've had them come with their spouse or their caregiver so that they both know what that person needs to do to live better. They're free. The hospital provides all the materials for those. And so if that's something that you think you can get enough people together for, we need to have a minimum of 10 to participate in order to move forward, but I would really love to get something like that going out here for you as well. Chapter 5, last one, is on staying healthy. And this is where you'll get more wellness information on how to stay healthy, focus on eating healthier, exercise and health, quitting smoking, stress, safe sex, immunizations, wellness exams, and screening tests. I'm going to go ahead and leave copies of this here for you so that it goes over all of those chapters. And I'm also going to leave a case of each of these books for you. If you need more of one or the other, please call me. I left my card here as well. I would love to hear from you. I'm also providing speakers for you like on a quarterly basis. I think Jerry and I have talked about. So if there's something specific that you would like to hear, please let me know. We kind of like to have several weeks notice. It just makes it easier, especially if it's a doctor that you want to hear from so they can fit it into their schedule. But I'm here for you. I want to help you live better, live healthier, and do whatever I can to that end. So I think that's all I want. You volunteer for the class? Oh, thank you. Okay, if we may have questions? You're so good. Yes?
Do you give first aid and CPR classes for adults and children?
We do not. The classes they offer are given to staff. They have CPR classes for staff. There are other organizations in the community that do CPR in the community. One of them is,
Thank you. That was my point.
High Desert does it, yeah.
iDesert and,
New Life.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, absolutely, Pamela. Yes, okay.
Do they
There's a
give,
new one called like Lifeline or something.
New Life.
New Life.
Yeah.
They're the cheapest one in the community.
Oh, I didn't
They're on the
Iron Spring.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the cheapest ones in the community.
Okay, great. I learned something.
And of
My
course,
day is complete.
and of course, Central Yavapai does too.
Do they? Okay. The first aid and the CPR? Okay. There you go.
just one other, just a statement though, during the expo, the health expo was here this last, what, fall? Fall. That's fall. That's fall. So it was an excellent, excellent exhibition. You came through, you could get all kinds of information. My wife and I got our flu shots at that time. We came in, talked about different heart rates, different things we do, lifestyle adjustments that we could make. There were all kinds of different information you could have here. And we really need to get people to come in and participate and learn something about these kind of things. Young people, old people, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we had about, I think, 25 people show up that day. So we actually had more vendors than we did people attend, but that's, you know, that's the first time, and I really believe that if we do it again and get more information out, we'll get a lot larger crowd.
Chino Valley Fire does CPR, First Aid AD, and Call the Volunteer does. We do it for the Red Cross. Some people have specific needs, so American Heart, they might need to do that if they need to go into nursing or continuing education credits. So there's lots of different levels, and you know we could put stuff out through PACO and stuff depending on what the community needs.
Great, great. Okay.
So Jeff, just get Chino Valley Fire to have one here?
You can, or Call the Volunteer Fire.
Okay.
Red Cross is Call the Volunteer, American Heart is Chino Valley Fire.
Because there is a tremendous people that work as healthcare workers, you know, direct home care.
And that would be one that you'd have to get a certain certificate for.
Okay, great, thank you.
Richard.
Yes, sir.
Mug.
Oh, yes. Gotta get your, and for your buddy brought along, okay? Nice to bring a friend along. And I think if I'm not wrong, the CPR methods have changed drastically. My training, I think, is way old. So I don't think you do the breathing anymore, you just do the pumping.
And those are on different levels also, depending on what each individual needs.
Yeah.
They do learn two-person, they do learn bagging, they do learn possibly mouth-to-mouth, depending on the apparatus that you have with you. So there are lots of different levels, or they're in the mall, they have stands where you can learn hands only. You know, so there is a lot of different levels, and depending on how long you want to be in the class, and like you said, what cost and what your needs are to be certified for your workplace or for your community.
I venture to say that we all need that, very much so. And first aid. I mean, just the immediate kind of first aid, like a car wreck or something like that. It's always good to have that. Okay, we're down to call the public comments, announcements. Jerry, you have something? You said.
I just want to thank Roxanne and Ella for coming out tonight. I'm kind of looking forward to get a little bit more health information in general. And the quarterly thing would be just great, and we'll fit you in the schedule, and we do appreciate you coming out. I think all of us can use health information in general, and that's what our programs are all about. So, again, thank you.
It's announcement time. Sure.
I have suffered through 34 years of working in the medical field from all kinds of aspects, the last of which was probably the most irritating. I was doing medical billing, and I have a ton of information on how to pick your insurance company, how to understand the explanation of benefits when it's delivered and you don't have a clue what it says. So anybody who has a question, our name numbers are available
Yes, sir.
Is this the only facility in the area that Paulding residents have to meet?
There's, there's a room available down by the tank store. I think it's still available that you can rent.
Yeah.
I've never been in it. I don't know what the size is or the condition. I don't know, Chino Valley Fire sometimes does stuff, but
I think that makes a point for the weather.
yeah, I mean, this is really, you make a do with looking for, you know, you gotta go hand in hand to people and say, would you mind if I use your, whatever you got, so, garage or something, you know, so. Okay, I'll give you a heads up where the board is thinking about having a trash pickup along one of the major roads around the area. Just thinking about it after the circus, so if you feel like walking along off the pavement and just picking up trash, we're thinking about putting that together in the future, a couple months from now before it gets hot. Right, when I get it in after the circus.
Richard, if you're gonna do that, even if it's up and down 89 with the ADOT territory, wherever it is you're gonna do it, let me know and I'll make sure you guys get the reflective vests and bags.
Okay, well, that'd be nice, yeah. This was done way back when with Valerie and Mike Toby. I got the right, I don't know, he was a public servant person.
And Dave Hollenbeck.
Dave Hollenbeck, okay. It's been done in the past, it hasn't been done in the last couple of years, so we're looking at resurrecting it. Roads aren't in bad shape, but still, it's, you know, let's get out and do some stuff. Okay, Craig,
Actually, when they deliver the phone books to everybody's house, they don't use.
oh my gosh.
Oh my, if the rain hits it, it falls apart, it's all over everybody's property.
If you want paper, you can go to these, you can get 10 or 20 of these things laying on the ground, and they're just sitting there, and they'll be sitting there for weeks. That's a good point. Okay, Craig, what do you got for the talk from the county?
Yeah, just a couple of little things. We're going to have a cleanup. It's basically what we call the kitchen cleanup, where you can come in and get rid of hazardous waste from out of your houses, homes, garages, anything like that, paint, oil, herbicide, you name it, pills. You don't use it anymore and you want to dump them. But you can dump them. Bad, it'll be free. The bad news is you have to go all the way to the president to do it. But you have paint cans and things like that, you know, you can't bury them, it's illegal. So it'd be a good idea if you can take them, everybody get together, maybe have a roundup, and then somebody takes a truckload, takes it down, dumps it, it'll be at the president dump, and they're off with right there by the Sundog. The park. So that's going to be coming up in about 2 weeks. So I'll let you know as soon as I find out exact dates on it. The other thing is, we put the circus in my website, so the circus is in there. But so far, I've already had 3 phone calls. But I couldn't tell them who to contact for tickets, because I know you don't have the tickets yet. Sure. So somebody needs to tell me where to contact and get the tickets.
Jerry's the ticket coordinator with the circus.
And you know about the sign, you already mentioned that. Remember that that's only the first step in this process. We're still moving forward with trying to get a left turn lane put in there. So that's the next phase that we'll work with ADOT on and try and keep Alvin focused. So.
Greg, ADOT was out counting for that today. ADOT was out counting. They said it was for the turn lanes.
One more time.
ADOT was sitting next to the post office or at the post office. When I asked them what they were doing, said they were counting the traffic to put in the turn lanes.
Well, that's a good thing. They're doing traffic count. For those of you who don't know, the traffic count on 89A coming out of Chino Valley is 22,000 vehicles per day. That's 10,000 more than on 89A over at Roberts Road per day. Big difference. Almost double. 89 out here. Did I see it? At 89 out here, 22,000 vehicles a day. It's also more than I-17 north of Camp Verdes. A lot of crap.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you find out the date for the toxic waste, can you send it to everybody's email that we have for ARPA? Or put it in the post office?
I think we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see, I'll get you all the information, now we don't know where, and what you can take, and everything else. Because these only come up once in a while, once about every 2 years, so you got old paint, old oil, whatever it may be, and you want to get rid of it, now's the time to do it. And it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, we've got dump free days coming up here sometime not too far off, right? You know, George? Okay, I think I was reminded of it. It's a matter of Sunday, I think. But that's just plain trash.
Did you ever mention, and one other thing was, did you ever mention anything about the Verde Coalition and putting together their mitigation plan for taking down all the trees and stuff for a lot of the trees and fuels that are back here off of Cape Fort Ranch and State Land, Fort Land?
Is that for fire purposes or water conservation?
Water conservation.
I mentioned it in the past, but it was always kind of on concept.
If you're interested, if you all are interested, I'll have the hydrologist heading that project for the coalition come here, give a presentation, tell you exactly what the plan is, what they're going to do in the acreage up there on the other side of the big finger.
Cut down, clear-cut trees.
Yep.
No, I didn't say clear cut, you said clear cut. Don't know, not clear cut. It's planned, they take down certain amounts of trees, a certain amount of brush. It's not for fire.
Yes to the brush, but no to the trees, because the more
Well,
trees.
there's some slopes in there that need
The
to
less rain we're gonna continue getting. Look at the rain.
You've got 2,500 acres you're going to be doing.
Okay, what else do we have for the community? What do you know about that we'd all be interested in as we close this up?
Bring up the best
If you're a vet and you'd like to get your name, I'm just about ready to go do another batch. You do that? Nope. Okay.
Yeah.
You is, but you live way up there. Wow, okay, you see, if you know somebody, a neighbor or somebody that's a vet, and they'd like to get their name put up there, then we use that as up in the front for the school vets every November. Get the information in a form you fill out. It's mainly your name and nickname if you've got something, and your service and service dates, and your rank or rating or your function. We've got one guy up there known as a machine gunner. So we've got PFC 0331, I think that's the MOS code, and machine gunner. Okay, another guy is combat medic, and that's what we wanted to be known for. And he's really proud of that, so he's recently died. Okay, anything else? Just give you the information there. Oh, well, I haven't gotten that far. That's next. Okay, food bank drawing. If you bring some food in, then you get to draw for a prize. Okay.
I have a question over here.
Yes, sir.
Is there any word on another policy today,
Yeah, that's what I think I just mentioned, is that Don, I think it's Don out there, runs the thing. He said it's coming up soon, but I can't remember what the dates are. So it's, he said the people are, his usage of the dump is lightening up a little bit because they're waiting for the free dump days. So, yes, sir.
Just one, the date, George looked it up, the date of the, taking all the hazardous waste and things into the Preston dump, that's Sunday, 22nd of March.
Oh, so March 22nd. Can we put that in the minutes? Okay. All right.
Did anybody else bring in food for the day?
No.
Looks like this is very easy drawing. Please stand up and collect your report.
Two contributors? Or was it one? Just one? You're it. You're the star of the show. In fact, you're behind the star, the other star. Star, okay.
I think she has something to say too.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Can you email the minutes to everybody's email address after a meeting?
I think so.
I mean, that way you wouldn't have to, then you would know what they were. I would just, as long as you have all the email addresses by now.
There's only one minor problem.
Okay.
They don't always get done right away. Sometimes it's about 3 hours before the meeting before they get done. So we will try.
Oh, well, whatever, just as a matter of convenience.
We're trying to get better at that. You know, the board likes to look at those minutes and make sure they got everything in there. But that's 2 weeks before the next meeting, so the general meeting. So.
Okay.
Yes, Pete?
Maybe it's best to post them after they've been approved at the next.
Yes. Yeah, that's after, well, you know,
Because there might be changes. Right?
if we put draft on it, you know, I'd like to get them out ahead of the next meeting so you can go down there and look at it. If you missed that meeting, okay, here's, you know, that sort of thing. And kind of helps out, at least from my point of view. So. And a question for you, since Penny was here, kind of answering the question, did you find that helpful, Penny Hubble, when she came in and talked about insurance? It was, because that kind of came along the lines after you had
Yeah, the difference was that it really, what she had to say didn't make any difference, because I talked to my insurance company, it was because of the discounts that they give.
Okay. So they weren't crooks after all?
No, they just give a lot of discounts.
Okay. Yes. You have something?
Yes, I wanted to, John Watkins, one of the builders that helped construct the building, he gave me a scrapbook a while back, and it should be back there in the storage room. It was just full of pictures of people building and happy faces, and it was very, very lovely to fill in those pages and look at those pictures. So it should be back there.
Okay. All right, wrapping this up, again, I'd like to thank the presenters. Roxanne, thank you very much. Look forward to your next, you're going to be sending various reps out, experts in their field every 3-4 months, something like that. We schedule the next one. Holland Community Center people, Dee, thank you very much. Jeff, where are you? You're out there, Jeff, you are, and Jerry's somewhere. He's over there. Okay. I'll get it right. Okay. Thank you all very much for coming out. Hope you enjoyed the cups. Next meeting, I believe we've got Dana Dorr, I believe. Dana come out, he's a master gardener, to tell you what to do in the spring and what to do for your plants and how to treat them nicely and get them to work right. We might have birthdays, I don't know. Let's see who's working that. Bob, do you have any info on that?
We'll have the fire department out here, I believe May, the first meeting in May.
In May, okay. That's, you know, current rules and regulations on burning tumbleweeds and stuff, you know, that kind of stuff. How about the canine guy? Is he coming?
We haven't scheduled it. We scheduled it today, we canceled it.
Okay.
Because of all the situation.
Yeah, we've had a lot of additions, so, yeah, keep your eye on things. Jerry, what do you got?
In addition to Dana coming out, Master Gardener, we're going to have Terry McPherson from the Holland United Churches, and probably have somebody here from the food bank maybe as well.
Okay, and I see the Submariner group is going to come out and do a presentation on the 150th anniversary of submarines in the U.S. Navy. Goes back to the Civil War. Before that, they're going all over to groups in the area and putting a presentation on. It's a military kind of thing. So those guys are scheduled for April. And a special, we're getting there. Special thanks to the first timers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all those. That's what we're looking for. hope you found this interesting. I hope you tell your neighbors, friends, and all that about it. Say, yeah, it's not a bunch of kooks, you know, we're actually doing something useful. Maybe a bunch of kooks, but we're having fun. And the door prize, 703. Okay, who's the... You got it?
Oh, there you go.
Good for you. Anything else before we adjourn? Anything else that you can think of off the top of your head now?
Microphone, please. Can you go up front?
It's not too bad. Come on. Are you a shy person?
Hi, I'm Shauna, and I've lived here for 4 years now. And I was just going to ask, do we have to get it approved to ask to come talk about maybe services that we provide in our professional lives? So do we have to ask and we get it approved?
Well, we don't endorse businesses per se, but if you got something that's of interest, like we'd like to get a business out here, I'm adamant, I want to kind of a crushed rock person out here to tell us what to use for our driveways and for color and all that stuff. That kind of fits in. It's a general interest to you. Like Penny came out and talked about insurance, but she did for her own State Farm. That wasn't our function. It was to come out and how to be a smart buyer with insurance. So yeah, talk to us, any board member. And we have a board meeting, and it's got the wrong date, but just let us know what you want to talk about.
And there's always the call the public at the end of the meeting.
The what?
Call the public like now, where you can stand up and say what you want.
Yeah, if you got a new business that you're starting up in an area that people would be interested in. And here we go. This group put together a call to business directory last summer. And every business that we could find that existed out here, we put a one-liner in there. So we had several pages for it. It's 125, there it is over there, or so businesses. Now, if you wanted to buy an ad in there, do more what your products and services is, and you know, all that sort of thing, the website, then we'd sell you you know, and I think the full page was 50 bucks, and a quarter page was 15 or something. 15. It wasn't a whole lot. And we're on our second printing, and how many total? I thought we did a second printing.
Yes, we did. We did an extra 100.
Yeah, so we started with 250 or 3. And they've gone to businesses around the area. So we promote local businesses. We want to get you in there. So, okay. If there's no further business, could I hear a motion to adjourn? Whoops.
If you still would like to send a letter to ADOT about the Highway 89, left-hand turn lanes, whatever, here's a form for your letter, tells you what to tell them and what order to tell them, and you can go to ADOT if you want to go beyond that. That's up to you. So there's other people out there.
It's also posted on Facebook on one of our posts.
Well, this not this one.
Yeah, okay.
Did I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion from Jerry, seconded Tom. Jerry, thank you for coming. Yeah, come on, get the help. Come up here, have a look at this stuff.